Hello my lovelies. In preparation for next week's sew along that I will be hosting in the Backstitch Backroom on Facebook, I wanted to do a little quick video about using your projector. I will show it again when we do the first day of the pattern sew along, which is print and cut the fabric, but some of you might want to play with your projectors beforehand instead of waiting for the first day of the sew along. So I wanted to do a little video and give you a little how-to into this new system of paperless, environmental friendly sewing. And so let's get started. First and foremost, I will link in the description below the projector that I have. It's a bow maker with 4500 lumens that was recommended for me, and once I got it working to my requirements, which I'm going to talk to you about in a little bit, it's perfect. So for a very reasonable price, I think it will do the trick. There are plenty of other projectors out there that you could use, absolutely, but this is the one that works for me. So everything that I'm discussing is with the one that I have. Obviously some settings may be different based on, just like sewing machines or cameras, based on your different brand, settings may be different. So I'm going to go over the bow maker that I have. I will link below my affiliate link for the pattern and the projector, the mount that I have. So I appreciate you using those links. Let's get started. So first and foremost, once it comes to your house, it comes in a box, you open it, you hopefully have somebody to help you set it up, but if not, it can be a one-man job. I was lucky enough to have my husband set it up at the top. Let me see if I can show you guys the setup up there. But if not, you can do it by yourself. It's not that difficult with the mount. Let me see if I can get it all the way. There you go. So that is my projector all the way up there. Not the prettiest setup with the cable showing, but it does the trick. And eventually my husband promised me that he will put the cord through the attic, so I don't have to see the black cord on the white ceiling. Honestly, it bothers him more than it bothers me, but whatever. I'll take it. The projector comes with a remote that, so you don't, once you set it up, you won't have to go up and down to turn it on and off. The only time you will have to be up on a ladder or a chair to do the initial setup. Other than that, you are good to go with the remote to turn it on and off. And again, what I'm using is a MacBook Pro. A layout may be different on PC, so keep that in mind. But I know it sounds overwhelming, and I was overwhelmed at the beginning before even buying it. Like, for me, it was overwhelming thinking about it. But I can tell you, it took half an hour to set it up, like on the wall, on the ceiling with the screws and finding the studs. You don't have to find the studs, it comes with those little plastic things you can put straight in the drywall, but my husband said we should just find the studs and put it straight in those. So once he got that set up, it was maybe an hour and a half setting up, finding out the correct settings for the distance between the ceiling, well, not the ceiling, the lens of the projector and your cutting table or floor. I don't like cutting on the floor, so mine is on the table and it will always be on the table. If you like to cut on the floor, then your projector area will be bigger because your distance will be bigger between the lens and the floor. But I prefer to cut on the table for the sake of my back. So so once you got it all set up on the wall, you turn it on and then you open your computer. You're gonna have to either Wi-Fi it connected to your computer. Mine has a Wi-Fi, which was a must for me. I don't want any more cables than the wiring. I believe you can use a Chromecast for it. I don't use one because I don't have a need for it. It connects wirelessly with my computer. So let me show you also how you connect it to a Mac, because this is information that I would have liked to have when I started the first time. So if this is something that can help a few of you, I will be very happy to. So let me get out of here for a little bit. So on the top bar, in my case, you have your Wi-Fi connection, and I connect mine to the Wi-Fi of the projector. That's why it shows that I have no actual internet connection right now, because I open everything prior to so I open my patterns from the internet prior to this, and then I open the connection, and I connect the projector to my Mac. So then once it's connected, you go into screen mirroring, and with screen mirroring I choose mirroring, which is then this is what the name of the projector is in my mirroring screen. This is my home TV. So I chose this, and then you are good to go. At this point, it's all connected with each other. Now I use for the projector settings, let me show you this. You can watch right now on the table the projector settings. And if you look, I'm doing it all from my remote. If you look right here, I'll show you the settings that I use. I use aspect ratio auto, and then I didn't really mess with the other ones. So just aspect ratio auto for this. What I would suggest to use to first calibrate it would be at least a grid of 5x5, which luckily comes with the Malibu pattern that we'll be sewing. And then I double check, once I set it up with a grid of 5x5, I double check to make sure it's calibrated correctly with a 1x1 grid that right now I get from Love Notion pattern. I'm testing currently a Love Notion pattern, and Tammy included a 1x1 grid with her projector file. So that was my double checking that everything is correct. So once I have those two set up correctly, then I am all done. This is it. Then you're good to go for all the sewing with projectors. So let's say you have that set up, you have this set up. Right now is when you'll be going up on a ladder or on a chair, up and down if you're alone. If you have somebody to work the dials for you up there, then you obviously, it will be less physical exercise. So I open a grid in the Malibu pattern, that it comes with a projector file, and it's a layered pattern. So being that it's a layered pattern, it will have all the sizes. So what I did, I just removed, unclicked all the sizes and just kept the grid. So once I got the grid going, I do a full screen, and then you'll see mine right now it's calibrated, but the pattern comes with view size right here that can be depending on what your computer is set up. So it's a random number, and I don't care about that number. What you need to care is about finding the right proportion for your projector, and that I will give you mine, but it will make no difference for you, because you have to have the exact same projector, the exact same angle, and the exact same distance from the lens to the table as me to use my suggestion. Obviously you can start with that and work around it. I started with 50%. I realized, oh, it's too big, based on, because if you can see, I have my mat, my Fiskar mat right here, and you can see the projected, see, I'm moving the mat, but the projection stays the same. So then you'll realize if it's too big or too small. So you're gonna be adjusting the numbers right here to make it fit your 5x5 grid. Start with the center one. Once you've figured out the center one, that it's 5x5, let's see. Okay, perfect. So see, this is my center one, 4x4, 5x5 right here. Then you are good to go, at least on the proportion, on the percentage. Now what you have to do, make sure that it's the same right here in the corner as it is right here in the corner, as it is right here or right here. So if your projector is not leveled, you have to adjust the keystone so the image doesn't spread up, out at the top or spread down at the bottom. So that with that you will be adjusting the keystone. It's one dial on my projector. Others fancier ones may have it on the remote, but mine is just one dial right next to the zoom. The projector up top only has two dials, a zoom and a keystone. So once you figure out that, to make sure that this line is straight, so if you take a random line and if it matches right here and then it goes like this, the line on the projector, that means the image is widening at the top. So you need to adjust the projector keystone to make it like go straight on a 90-degree angle on your table. So that's it. This is it. It sounds much worse than it is. Once you have the two adjusted, the keystone and the percentage right here, you can see it right here, the percentage, all you have to do is open the patterns in an A0 file, which means there's no papers to tape. It's a one sheet for the copy shop and you're good to go. So let me show you how I do mine. I make my image retina display. First of all, I keep my retina display. I open it full screen, so I take full advantage of the cutting area. This is pretty much what my projection area is that is allowed to me by the distance from the ceiling. If you have taller ceiling, I have 8 feet ceilings on upstairs in my sewing room. So once that is set up, this is pretty much the area that's projected. It's not huge, but it saves me time and paper for printing, so I'll take it. I won't go back to anything else. So once I have that set up, let's do a double check with my 1x1 grid, and then I'll show you the pattern. So this was the 5x5 grid from the Malibu. I'm gonna get out of the full screen view. Right here. Come on. There you go. So I'm getting out of the full screen view and I'm gonna be opening the projector file from Love Notion. So again, I unclicked all the sizes right here. You can see this is my screen. I unclicked all the sizes and I just saved the 1-inch layer grid. I have the same, you have to make sure that the percentage is the same as you figured it out before. This is a double checking basically, and I'll show you a triple checking method in just a few. So once that is done, I make it full screen. There you go. So now I'm just checking. As you can see, my 1-inch, even if you feel like there's a shadow, keep in mind that the mat is not straight on my table, so that's fine. So the 1-inch here is good, the 1-inch here is good, and the 1-inch here is good too. My table is an old IKEA table, so any like 1% shadowy part, it's fine, that's totally acceptable. So here is calibrated, you can see it matches perfectly right here, right here, right here, right here. You are good to go. So that was it. Once you figure out the keystone, which is easy, and the percentage that can be smaller than 1%. Like for me, I tried 45.2, I tried 45.3, and I found that 45.2 is the perfect match to the grid that I have. So once you have that, if you're still not a believer, which happens because I wasn't a believer at the beginning, let's do a triple check right now for to make sure you have the correct adjustments. So I'm gonna take the Malibu dress right now, and with the Malibu dress I'm gonna go with the layer function and select a size 4, which is probably the one I'm going to be sewing for the sew along. I'm gonna just remove the grid. I don't need it anymore. I already checked the grid. I'll just select the size 4. Again, keep the percentage the same, write it on a post-it, put it in your sewing room, because once you figure that percentage, you'll be using it for all the patterns. So you're good to go after that. Let's see, full screen, and I'm gonna remove the computer because actually, yeah, the pattern is right here. So let me just put the computer right here. This is size 4 front. This is the front piece of the size 4. Before I used the old-fashioned way of printing, taping together just the bodice, not the whole pattern, just the bodice. So this is my check, like my triple check to make sure that I found the proportions correctly. So I have the size 4 printed on an old-fashioned paper. I have the projection right here, and I want to see if it matches. Perfect. Ta-da! Again, the paper is going up. Let me put a pattern weight right here. So I'm going to put a pattern weight right here. This way you can see the paper flat. And there you go. If you can see, the projection on the paper matches perfectly. So that is it. You've got your settings correct, and from now on, say bye-bye to all the papers. And hello to no more stacking pattern, no more filing patterns. You are good to go. If you have any questions, obviously don't hesitate to ask me. I'm here for sharing my information of this new technique. We'll be discussing about cutting the actual fabric and all of that when we start the sew along in the first day. I'll relink this video about the calibration, and then I'll post one with the actual Malibu, and we'll cut the fabric together in the first day. But I wanted to have this ready for you right now, just in case you want to prep and have everything calibrated before we start the sew along. So once again, I'm going to link everything that I've used in the description below of the video, and on Facebook in the Backstitch Backroom. And I hope I covered everything with you guys. Double check, triple check. If it looks like you figured it out, my advice is to write it on a piece of paper. Once you've figured out the proportion right here, write it on a piece of paper, have it right there with you, because you'll be using that every single time from now on to project your patterns and just cut them without paper or any printing or any taping pages together. So hope this helped. Don't forget, always ask me any questions, and I'll try to answer them as best as I can here on YouTube or in the Backstitch Backroom group. And I will talk to you guys next week. Bye!